Hello, community of grace. This is Gerard Lowry, and I thought I'd offer again the pastor's note by video. I'm sure many of you have kind of heard of the experience that I had, or heard about my experience from this weekend. I was in West Texas officiating the wedding of a friend and a colleague, and was supposed to fly back on Saturday morning. Unfortunately, due to many circumstances, I did not return to Salt Lake until Monday afternoon, about 1:30. 3 days later, 3 hotels later, it was just a difficult experience with the airline industry. And I'm sure there will be, as I reflect on that experience, there will be some stories or something that will pop up in a sermon in the near or distant future. But as I thought about what I could share today, I thought again about just flying. I fly often for meetings and for things. And flying for me, there's always a moment in the flight that is truly just uncomfortable. And that's takeoff. I don't like the takeoff. There's something about that moment. You've gotten in the plane, you're sitting down, you found your seat, you're buckled up, you're trying to make some space in a very tight and cramped area. And then the engine starts roaring, you move to the runway, and then there's that pause once you get to the runway before the engine starts revving, and then you go faster and faster and faster down the runway, and then for me there's this moment when I know that we are off the ground. Our wheels are off the ground and we are starting to climb into the air, and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and sometimes I even dare to look out the window. But the takeoff is just so uncomfortable for me, because it's a moment when I realize that I'm not in control. I'm not flying the plane. I have nothing to do with whether we get there safely or not, how fast we fly, how high we fly. I'm just not in control. And for me, that's an uncomfortable experience. And so during takeoff, it's a part of my custom, part of my tradition, that at that moment when I start to fear and I start to worry about my lack of control, that I say a little prayer. And the prayer is simply, "Dear God, my life is in your hands." See, for me, it's a reminder that I'm truly never in control. On the plane, if there's turbulence, I'm not in control of that. And it's the same in life, that if there's turbulence, I'm truly not in control of what comes my way, of the obstacles that I have to endure. But I do know who's in control. And when I think about my lack of control, but truly when I begin to think about the God that I love, the God that I serve, the God that I seek to follow, the God that I was made in the image of, that God, that my life is in God's hands, that gives me a sense of peace and a sense of calm, even in the midst of turbulence, even in the midst of an uncomfortable takeoff. And as I'm thinking to myself now, I should really make this prayer be more of, I should pray this prayer more often than I do. Because it's not just an issue of whether I'm on an airplane, but in all of life, that God is in control. When I wake up in the morning, my prayer should be, "Oh Lord, my life is in your hands," for my day is in God's hands. My life is in God's hands. And so, Community of Grace, I invite you on this day to just kind of think about where you are. Think about what's going on in your life. And no matter where you are, if you are in turbulent skies, or if the flying is smooth for you and the skies are clear, I invite you to join me and to pray and to reflect on the fact that our lives are in God's hands. And may that bring peace to you. May that bring comfort to you, no matter what you're going through on this day. So God bless. I hope you have a wonderful day on this day. Community of Grace. Just remember that your life is in God's hands. God bless.